Okay, below the surface of the realm of Earth, there is the black sun underneath that is the source, and that is what is responsible for the creation of the sun and moon that's always rotating around the Earth at all times. And the polar lights are from the black sun below as well. It comes from the big hole at the magnetic north. It's called Hyperborea. That's actually at the North Pole. There's 4 continents called Hyperborea. The black sun is moving in a coil-like motion that is creating an electromagnetic field with centripetal and centrifugal-like directions from below to above. As above, so below. As within, so without. Its motion center is the magnetic north, the center of the Earth. The North Pole star is called Polaris, okay? Polaris is the pole star. It's the very center, just up on the top of the firmament. Polaris is fixed, okay? It does not move. It stays there, and it's been there for millions of years, since the beginning of creation, okay? And it's up from the magnetic north, from the center of the Earth. On the top of the ceiling of our toroidal field, of our firmament, the black sun's electromagnetic field creates the stars as reflections of the great depths and the energy spots of the Earth, okay? So like the stars are like holes in the firmament. Okay, now the black sun you see here, it's always rotating, and also the diameter of the black sun's motion is always changing. It's always oscillating in and outward. Okay, this is a fact that makes the electromagnetic field a mechanical dynamic that goes in and out. It's a fluctuating toroidal hyperbola. We have to understand how light works, okay? Everything comes from the center, right? That is the pure dielectric light, the pure white light right here. That's actually invisible. We can't see that, okay? And then it hits the firmament, it hits the prism, the top of the dome, and then it gets refracted out, and then we see the electromagnetic spectrum, which creates the sun and the moon and everything else. Okay, so at the top of our toroidal hyperbola, where Polaris is fixed, okay, there is a reverse direction refraction of the cosmic energy that comes from the black sun down below that is always circulating and always oscillating at all times. This refraction separates the cosmic energy to the positive side, the cathode, it creates the sun, and then to the negative side, the anode, which creates the moon, the negative and positive polarity. Okay, these are the refracted energies that are focused and then reflected from Polaris as it comes down. Notice the symbol here. Notice the symbol. That's where they get their symbol from. That's all that it is. This is where it comes from. The sun and the moon, the male and the female energy. Okay, so the sun is the positive polarity and the moon is the negative polarity. The positive refraction of the cosmic energy works like a limit to the negative refraction when both of these refractions are close to each other. Because of this, we have the phases of the moon. That's why there is a relationship between the constellation difference between the sun and the moon's phases. Okay, pay attention because this is important here at this part. When the conical shape refraction that creates the sun is in the same constellation as the refraction that creates the moon, the first one neutralizes the second. And in this case, we have a new moon. So basically what's that saying is when the sun is in the same constellation as the moon, they're both together, so you don't see the moon because the sun neutralizes the other, because it overtakes and overpowers the light that the moon gives off, because the sun is the light of the world. Okay, but on the other end, when both of these refractions are opposite of each other, and when both of the sun and moon are in harmony with each other as they're circulating around the Earth, when that happens, there is no neutralization of the moon's conical refraction from the sun's energy. So in this case, we have the full moon. Duh! Because they're both opposite of each other. The sun is farthest away from the moon, and they're circling around the Earth, so you can see the full moon in all of its glory, in all of its wonder and its beautiful light. You can see the full moon. Okay, so as the sun's refraction gets closer again, it starts catching back up to the moon, and then it starts going back into the crescent, and we start having the down phases, and the moon starts waning down, and it starts getting closer to another new moon. It's all about the black sun and the center vortex and its angles. When the angle of incidence of the black sun is bigger, the sun and moon are very close. When they are in the same constellation, that's what gives us the new moon. So in this case, when the conical refraction of the sun is bigger, it neutralizes and takes away the light from the moon. Okay, the black sun is spinning, it's farthest away, it's farthest circle, and then the sun and the moon are its closest. But then this black sun starts doing smaller circles, and then the sun and moon are in harmony together, and they're farther away from each other. When the angle of incidence is at its smallest, we have the full moon, and we can see the light of the moon. And in that case, the two refractions are opposite, and they do not affect each other. And so the sun and the moon are both visible. And then soon after that, the cycle goes back and continues. The black sun starts doing bigger circles, and the sun and moon start getting closer and closer together. As above, so below. As above, so below. You got to understand, as above, so below.